Okay, so, we often talk about the flashy tech, right? Like AI, big algorithms, GPUs.
Yeah, the really visible stuff.
Exactly. But today, we're doing a deep dive into something maybe less glamorous, but, well, fundamental. Data integrity, portability.
The bedrock, really.
We're looking at this NFL game calendar architecture and implementation
I mean,
document.
it might sound a bit dry,
A little bit.
okay? Maybe really dry, but trust me,
Hmm.
the engineering here is absolutely high stakes. The core challenge, it looks simple.
Just get the game on the calendar.
Right.
Yeah.
But doing that reliably. With a live sports schedule that's always changing, flexing games, time shifts.
Cancellations even.
Turning that into a stable event that just works perfectly on your specific calendar app. Apple, Google, Outlook.
Whatever you use.
That's where the real complexity lies.
So our mission today is kind of tracing that journey. How does the game data get from, the source to your phone as a calendar invite?
And specifically, how do they nail consistency and portability using this thing they call the Calendar Invite Server, or CIS?
Okay, CIS. And right off the bat, the document stresses this core decision they made.
Yeah, it's foundational. Every single game has to be a calendar-native event, meaning it uses the standard iCalendar format, ICS.
They didn't build their own notification system or app.
Nope. They committed fully to the global standard, which sounds obvious maybe, but it has huge implications.
And the document lays out these 3 pillars for why this approach works, right?
Pillar 1, consistency.
Right.
Meaning the event has to have uniform fields, the same structure, so it looks and basically behaves the same way no matter what calendar app you're using.
Okay, that makes sense. Pillar 2.
Portability,
Yeah.
because they stick to the ICS standard. That is the portability. It's like a universal language for calendar events.
So Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook, they all speak ICS.
Pretty much, yeah. If the app follows the standard, it should just work.
And the third pillar. This sounds like the really tough one for sports. Updatability.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the NFL flexing a game. Sunday Night Football gets changed on, Tuesday?
Sometimes, yeah. Affects millions of fans instantly.
Right. So that change has to get pushed out automatically and reliably to everyone who already added the game to their calendar.
How do they guarantee that reliability?
Well, it boils down to technical rigor. Specifically, things like durable, unique UIDs for every game.
Okay.
And having a really consistent format for the event title, the summary field.
Yeah.
Plus a predictable link, a deep link, to the game info. If those things are stable and predictable,
Then the calendar app on your phone can trust the updates when they come through.
precisely, trust is baked into the structure.
Okay, so that's the output goal. Consistency, portability, updatability. But let's back up. Where does the data actually come from? What are the inputs to this CIS thing?
Good question. It starts with their internal sort of authoritative data sources. First up is the master schedule information.
Like which games are in which week?
Yeah, exactly. The unleveled.json file mentioned gives the official week numbers and the date ranges for those weeks. It's the basic scaffolding for the season.
And then you need the details about the actual teams playing.
Right. That comes from a teamdata.json source. This is where you get the stuff fans actually see and care about.
By
Full team names, the short names or abbreviations, paths to the logos, links to buy tickets, also division and conference info, even the team colors, which helps make the calendar entries look good.
So schedule structure plus team details.
Yeah.
Got it. But data isn't always perfect. Are there checks? You mentioned quality gates earlier.
Absolutely critical. Before anything becomes a calendar event, the data has to pass checks. First, basic schema validation.
Making sure required fields aren't empty.
Yep. Like you can't have a game without a date or teams. Then, really importantly, deduplication.
Preventing the same game from showing up twice.
Exactly. They use what's called a composite key based on the date, the home team, and the away team to make sure each game is unique in the system. And then there's automatic enrichment. The system takes the raw matchup and adds context, like the official week number and the relevant team details we just talked about.
Okay, so clean, unique, enriched data. Now, how does it get standardized into that iCalendar format? You mentioned the summary field being important.
Yeah, the summary, it's not just a descriptive title, it's engineered.
Engineered how?
They use a super consistent, machine-readable pattern. It's always like, away team, TRI, at home team, TRI, NFL 2025, week N.
With those 3-letter team codes, the TRIs.
Right, that strict pattern means search functions inside calendar apps work reliably. And the UI can parse it easily to display info consistently. It's designed for machines first, in a way.
Interesting. And this structure leads to a big decision they made about how games are represented over time. They don't use recurrence rules.
Yeah, this is a really key technical choice. You know how for a weekly meeting you might set up a recurrence, repeats every Monday?
Sure, super common.
Well, recurrence rules are great for static things, but for dynamic events like NFL games, they're risky.
Risky how?
If you had a rule like every Sunday game for the Seahawks, and then one game gets flexed to Monday or canceled, how does the calendar handle that exception?
Yeah. Different apps might handle it differently, or maybe
Right.
miss the update for that one instance.
Exactly. It introduces uncertainty. So they made a trade-off. They sacrificed the sort of elegance of a single recurring event.
For control.
Total control. Every single game is its own discrete V-event object in iCalendar terms. One game, one event object, period.
That means if week 5 needs to change, they update only the week 5 event object.
Precisely. It guarantees update precision.
Okay, let's shift gears to something you mentioned, the global headache. Time zones. This must be a nightmare for the NFL. You've got games on the East Coast, West Coast, sometimes London or Germany.
Fans everywhere.
Oh, it's a classic distributed systems problem, making sure the fan in London sees the kickoff at, say, 6 p.m. their time, while the fan in LA sees it at 10 a.m. their time, and accounting for daylight saving time shifts.
Which happen on different dates in different places. Right. It's messy. But their solution is actually quite elegant, and it's a standard practice in robust global systems.
Which is?
Everything revolves around UTC, Coordinated Universal Time.
So store everything in the database, not as 4 p.m. Eastern, but as the equivalent UTC time.
Exactly that. The calendar invite server, the CIS, only stores time as UTC seconds, specifically in the DT start and D10 fields of the iCalendar data.
Why is that better? It doesn't just add a conversion step.
It centralizes the truth of the time. UTC is the global standard, and crucially, it doesn't have daylight saving time. It's always the same.
Okay.
So the server doesn't need to know or care about the local time in London or LA or whether the US switched DST last week, but Europe hasn't yet. It just stores the absolute, unambiguous UTC time for kickoff.
But wait, what about games where the time is to be announced TBA?
Good point. They still store a placeholder UTC time, which gets updated later when the actual time is set. The principle holds.
So if the server only deals in UTC, who handles showing me the correct 1 p.m. local time on my phone?
That is pushed to the edge, to your device, the front-end client.
My phone's calendar app.
Or your web browser, or your desktop app. Your device knows its own local time zone. It knows the DST rules that apply to you, so it takes the authoritative UTC time from the CIS.
And uses its own built-in tools, like maybe Day.js or the browser's Intel object.
Exactly. It uses local libraries or native functions to translate that UTC timestamp into your correct local time for display.
Wow, okay. So the central system stays simple, just UTC, and the complexity of local time display is handled by the thing that knows best, the user's actual device.
It's a really smart way to manage it. And when a game time does get flexed, the CIS just updates the stored UTC value for that specific game's v-event.
And pushes out that single change.
Yep. And every single subscribed calendar everywhere in the world gets the new UTC time and automatically shows the updated local time. No ambiguity.
That is genuinely elegant engineering. Push the complexity to where it belongs.
And it all relies on that event having a stable identity so the update finds the right place. Which brings us back to those UIDs.
The unique identifiers, you said they were crucial.
Absolutely non-negotiable for a system like this. Think about sharing a link to a game on social media or embedding it somewhere or just having it reliably update in your calendar year after year.
Needs a permanent address.
Exactly. Each v-event gets a durable UID, and that UID often dictates its web address, like the document mentions game.uid. If that UID changes for any reason,
All the links break. Calendar updates might fail. Chaos.
it's total chaos. So maintaining UID stability is paramount. It allows for reliable sharing, indexing by search engines, and just making sure API calls always fetch the correct game data.
And the document even notes they preserve the original organizer's UID. What's that about?
That's about provenance, like a chain of trust. It helps ensure that the event data hasn't been tampered with or regenerated incorrectly somewhere down the line. It confirms this event really originated from the authoritative source.
Okay, UID stability underpins the update mechanism which relies on UTC. Makes sense. Now, you hinted at maybe the most interesting architectural choice, the aha moment, you called it.
Yeah, this is where it gets really insightful about designing for trust and integrity, especially at scale.
The document mentions the front end uses modern tools, Vue 3, Tailwind for styling, Day.js for time display, standard stuff for a good UX.
Right. Ensuring it looks good and displays time correctly is important. They use Pinia stores for state management, caching data to keep it snappy.
But the real guardrail isn't in the UI tech, it's in the data flow itself.
Exactly. It's about how data moves between the user's calendar and the central CIS system. How do you absolutely guarantee the data on millions of calendars as the official data?
Okay, I'm hooked. What's the guardrail?
It's incredibly simple and incredibly strict. All the APIs that serve this calendar data from the CIS, they are exclusively GET requests.
Wait, get only. You mean no post, no UP date. The CIS doesn't accept changes back from the calendar apps.
None whatsoever. Zero write APIs originating from the client side for the core event data.
Whoa, okay, unpack that. That seems limiting. Like, what if I, as a user, want to add my own note to the game event on my calendar? Or maybe I accidentally changed the time on my local copy.
You can change your local copy. Your Google Calendar or Outlook might let you edit the event that came from the NFL subscription.
Right.
But the CIS doesn't know and fundamentally doesn't care about your local changes because
Yeah.
it never listens for them. There's no API endpoint for your calendar to send those changes back to the NFL system.
So the CIS acts purely as a read-only source of truth.
Precisely. It is the uncorruptible system of record. By refusing any incoming changes, no post-update APIs for event data, they guarantee that the data flowing out is always the authoritative official version from the organizer.
That's a bold move. They sacrifice the ability to have two-way data sync, which many web apps strive for.
In exchange for absolute data integrity. Think about the flex scenario again. You might have manually changed the time on your local calendar because you thought you knew better or you wanted to shift it for a party.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. When the NFL officially flexes the game, the CIS updates its UTC time and pushes out the v-event update. Your calendar app sees the update from the organizer, identified by that stable UID, and overwrites your local copy with the new official time.
Automatically correcting my mistake or local edit.
Yes, it fulfills the core user need. Just tell me reliably when the game is. The user implicitly trusts the stream because the architecture guarantees it always reflects the source truth. There's no friction, no wondering, is this the right time?
That's a really powerful design philosophy. Limit this system's capability specifically, its ability to receive data to maximize the reliability of the data it sends.
It perfectly aligns the technical architecture with the user experience goal of trustworthy, up-to-date information.
Wow. Okay, this deep dive has been genuinely fascinating. It really highlights the hidden engineering behind something seemingly simple. Let's try and pull the threads together.
Sure.
So first, they tackled global portability by strictly adhering to the iCalendar standard. No proprietary stuff.
Right. Then they solved the time zone nightmare by storing everything centrally as UTC and letting your local device handle the display conversion.
Uh-huh. And underpinning the updates was the use of stable, durable UIDs for every single game event.
Yeah. And maybe the most critical piece. Ensuring absolute data integrity and enabling reliable updates by making the calendar invite server a read-only source of truth. That GT-only API strategy.
It really means that even the simplest notification on your calendar, like Chiefs at Ravens, 8:20 p.m., needed engineers to wrestle with global time standards, data consistency, and how to maintain digital trust at massive scale.
Absolutely. It's invisible infrastructure, but it's critical.
So the final thought for you, the listener. Next time an event just works on your calendar, especially one that changes, like a sports game or maybe even a flight time.
Yeah, take a second to think about the engineering that likely went into it. Consider this idea of the system of record.
Where else in your digital life do you rely on this? Banking, travel, your health records, systems where there has to be one uncorrupted source of truth.
And think about how those stable identifiers like your account number or booking reference and adherence to standards like iCalendar or others are what make complex distributed systems actually reliable and portable for you every day.
It's that hidden foundation of standards and integrity that makes so much of our digital world possible.